Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show everybody how to program the XPR series by Motorola. If it has XPR on the label, this video is for you. It's going to cover everything from the mobiles to the portables. One thing before I start this, if you don't have an entitlement key from Motorola, that allows you to space your radio at 25 kilohertz as opposed to the narrow band at 12.5 kilohertz. You're going to need what's called an entitlement key. And I can't furnish that information. You have to get that directly from Motorola. You can, however, search the forums. We're going to be using CPS 16 on this training video. I know a lot of people use CPS 2.0, but we're just going to use 16 for the purposes of this video. I'm going to show you how to program in a conventional channel and a digital channel, and also I'm going to cover a 70 centimeter frequency and also a GMRS frequency for those out there to follow. I'm going to start off with going through the radio settings. This should be pretty easy. Any comments, drop them in the description. I'm going to put this link up here for Discord. It should be showing up here on the screen. And you can ask any questions or comments or get in touch with me directly on there. Let's get started with the intro. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a description. I'm going to copy and paste this in a description. But this is just a basic. I'm going to show you, we're going to set up 3 separate zones in there, okay? We're going to have a regular 70 centimeter repeater for ham. So the one on the left is going to be receive, the one on the right is going to be the transmit, and just for the purposes of the video, on both sides, the PL, or what they call the CTCSS sometimes, is going to be the same on both sides, okay? So receive, transmit, what have you. I'm going to do a GMRS channel, and with GMRS, you know that the 462 is to receive and the 467 is always to transmit. And then we're going to go to zone 3. I'm going to do a digital UHF repeater, or you could also say it's the same kind of thing that you would do with your home hotspots, like if you had an open spot or a Pi Star or what have you. And then what I did was I'm going to do a disconnect talk group, because pretty much everybody's going to have that with BRANDMEISER. I'm going to enter in Southeast Louisiana 31225, which is a talk group on BRANDMEISER as well. We're also, I'm going to, if I have time, which I'm going to try to get this put in there, we're going to show you how to put a private call, a DMR radio ID in with a call sign. By the way, if you don't have a radio ID, you need to go to radioid.net, I believe, and you need to apply for one. You can't do much on the digital world without one, but you can put in the conventional channels without any kind of issue. So I'm going to be going off of this. This will be in the description. I don't know if you want to copy and paste it into a Word document maybe and follow it later. So we're going to start off at, first thing you'll always want to do, always, this is a commandment, always read from the radio. I see people all the time, they pull an old code plug up, an old programming thing, and they open it up and they end up writing to their radio and they delete a lot of the channels. No matter what you work with, always read from the radio first. And then the very first thing you do is you go here to File and you go to Save As and save it somewhere. But to read the device in the right, all you do is just come here to Device at the top and go to Read or Write. We're not going to get into clone or anything like that. But starting up here at the top, you're going to have the type of radio, and here you can have information about what you have, your frequency ranges, what the model number is. Going down to general, first thing you do here in radio name is put your call sign in, if you have a ham call sign. If you don't have one, doesn't really matter, you could call it the gray radio. Okay, and this is what I was talking about with why you need a radio ID to do digital. If you're going to do digital, you need to change this radio ID right here, and you need to make it your own. Don't put mine in, because it won't work. And we're going to go through here, and I usually check this. It'll help with a bunch of the repeater IDs. Sometimes checking this, you'll get less disturbances from it. Let's see, moving down accessories, we're just for, the only thing I would change right here is I would leave this as filter squelch right there. This has to do with your ignition switch. You can read all this down. It has to do with when you power on the radio, it'll come on, or when you turn your car on, you know, you actually have to do a flip switch. However you want to do it, you can do that. That's pretty easy. You can read down there. These are going to be your programming buttons. I have a commander mic and I have buttons on it, and I have mine programs. You can go through here. There's a bunch of different things that you could do for the different buttons, and you know, you could look at the front button, you know, and they got a long press and a short press on there. We're not going to go forward. This is text messaging. If you're going to be doing digital, you can do text messaging. Yes, it does work on BRANDMEISER. So let's start with we're gonna make those 3 zones. So we're gonna do zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Okay. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna go to, let's see, right here where channels is. Okay. So these are your different zones. For some reason they keep these channel pools in there. I don't know why. But to make or create a zone, they're probably going to have one in there that just says a anonymous name right here. So well, let me see if I could delete this. Let's make it like more like what you're going to see. Okay, so you need to have one zone. So it's going to have a name here possibly. So you can change this. We're going to make just zone 1. Okay. Let's right click, add a zone. Go here. We're going to make this zone 2. And we're going to right click, add zone. Oh, this radio, see, sometimes you're eliminated. So we're only going to go ahead and make 2 zones. Let's just forget about the zones. I'm going to show you how to put the channels in. You can put the stuff in as needed. And if you go to the left, the tree of fun down here, if you click on the zone or the channel up here, you can actually change the position of where you had it. Well, of course, nothing's going to work when I need to do it. Oh, well, I guess you're stuck with the zones. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our channel. We're going to do our conventional 70 centimeter channel. So we're going to come down here to zone. And like I said, we're just going to keep it all zone 1. Okay. So zone 1, we're going to make a channel. So when you right click, you can have add analog channel, add digital channel. We're making an analog channel. So here's the channel. So now that we made one, we can actually delete. You have to have one channel in there. See how I just right clicked and hit delete, and then that deleted the channel? Okay. So we're going to go through this manually. On the left hand side, you'll see you just created that inside here. I just created this channel 2, right? So we're going to name this, we'll just say we'll make this. There's 2 ways to do this. I'm going to do the long way for this first one. So zone 1, or channel 1, I'm sorry, let's get out the zone thing. Let's keep this simple. Hammond. Okay. So here's where you can do everything sideways. You can come over here, and if you're really quick like me and you know what you're looking for, you can go through here and do it right here on the side. But come back onto the left right here. You'll see I just made this one Hammond. So I'm going to click it. Now on the right hand side, you'll see this pop up. Okay, so this is what I was talking about having an entitlement ID at the start of the video. If you go to 25 and you go to write the radio and it doesn't write, it's going to be because you don't have an entitlement key. So you have to go to your nearest Motorola dealer, or like I said, you could check the forums. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So down here, they make it really easy. RX stands for receive. TX stands for transmit. So we're going to start with your receive frequency. And we're going to make this 444. .250. Okay. All right. The next thing is a squelch type. Motorola, when you hear people say CSQ, that means it does not have a squelch on there. That means you don't need a PL, CT, CSS, DPL tone at all. It's wide open. So we want to add a TPL. So a TPL is the same thing as a CT, CSS, or a PL private line, they call it. That's what you're going to hit right there. So now
someone is at front porch.
So now we're going to go ahead, somebody at the front porch. So we know that we want to put in a 107.2. Okay. So now, if you notice, most UHF are going to be plus 5,000. Okay. So you can actually come here, put a 5 in there, and then hit copy. And see how it already did the math? So looking back at this sheet, our transmit was 449.250 because 444 plus 5 is 449. So see, it even added, carried forth our PL and everything there. Okay, so moving down. This is the stuff, I'm getting to the P's and the grits. We're going to the easy stuff. Or just the stuff you need to get done to get on, able to use your radio. Okay, right here, power level, very important, low or high. You can also add this into the accessory button at the very top. So if you want it on low power or you want it on high, you can choose which one. Let me go back and see if I can find this real quick. General settings should be somewhere in here. It has to be in here. Okay, right here. So when you're in here and see how to get this power right here, if you want to adjust your power, and I should have gone over this earlier, but if you come here to the general on the left on the tree of fun, right here, the very first tab down, you'll see right here, TX power and watch 20, TX power in watts. So this is your low and this is your high power. So you can change that in here. I should have gone over that earlier. So we're going to leave that there. So this is your timeout timer. So this is how long you can talk until the radio will stop. So a lot of people set this because it will prevent people from burning up repeaters, or people that actually have a microphone in their car and it gets hit, it won't sit there and just stay keyed up. The universal thing is 300 seconds pretty much. But there is a way to come to infinity right here if you want to. Okay. But like I said, most responsible people keep this 180, 300 maybe. Okay. Now this is important. A lot of people miss this. This is the channel free option. Okay. So what this means is that if somebody's talking on the radio and they're keyed up, you will not be able to key up. It will make a beep, a big loud beep noise to prevent you from keying up. And you're probably asking, why doesn't everybody turn this on? Because nobody would ever be step, but not everybody has Motorola. Some people have boof wangs and everything else. But I always put it on always. That means when you key up, it's going to always try to transmit. No matter, even if somebody's talking, it's still going to transmit, just like old school radio. Okay. So now we have our first channel done. Yay. Okay, going back up to our zone. See how we went channel and we went to the zone. Okay. So I'm going to right click. I want to add an analog channel. Okay, this one's going to be GMRS. Okay. So just before I get there, let me show you this. So look at this first one that's up here. let's delete this and take a look at this. So if we scroll through here, you can see I'll change it to 25. Scrolling over, you can see the frequencies. They're in here. You can see the TPL. So you could go sideways. Here's your transmit frequency. Here's your transmit PL. And that's how that works. You can go across and do it really quick. And let me find that one little admit criteria, if I can find it real quick. Whenever you're looking for something, you can never find it. Let's see, admit criteria, right here, always. That's was always. Remember how we had the channel free? Okay, there we go. So we're going to come back over here. We're going to right click. We're going to add an analog channel. We're going to add this one. I had this one down as Lacombe GMRS. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, you can just start working from here and work across, but we're going to do it the long way, just in case people have questions. So generally, you always want to be at 25. And like I said, you need that entitlement ID. So going down here, this time we're going to enter it in manually. So we're going to do GMRS receive is 462.6500, and then go to TPL. And we know that you can either type it in here, like you can type a number in, or you can scroll up to it and get to it. But we know we want our PL to be 114.8. Okay. And then we're going to move over to transmit. Make sure when you click over here, kind of look over things, like double spot check yourself. Okay, so coming in here, we know on the transmit on a GMRS, it's 467.6500. You can add zeros. And then right here, you want to put in TPL. Okay, right here, we wanted the same PL on both sides, 114.8. Okay, and then our timeout timer, change that, and admit criteria, always put it on always. A lot of people get aggravated with that, so try to put it on always if you can. Okay, so now we're going to move forward to our digital channel. Okay, so moving to the digital channels. So this is a little more complicated, and we're going to go through this piece by piece. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to start on with our digital channel. So this is a little bit different. So everybody that just wanted to do conventional analog channels, you can stop the video now. But for those of you that are ham and want to be able to put digital towers or hotspots in there, this is the same way you're going to do it for both. Okay. So let me delete this here. So you're going to right click. Instead of doing an analog channel, we want to do a digital channel. Okay. There's many steps in this. So we'll give the channel a name. We'll call it hotspot. Or it could be a tower. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. All right. So after we do that, we're going to come over here to the tree of fun. Click on hotspot. It's going to open this up. Okay. So moving forward, we said we want to do color code 1. So with analog, you have CTCSS, TPL, or regular tones. With digital, you have color codes. Okay. So we said we're going to do color code 1. Okay. Now this part right here, repeater slot, you'll hear it referred to as time slot. What that is a TDMA, time division multiple access, whatever they want to call it. Okay. If you're not sure what this is, 99.8% of the time, it's going to be 2. If you don't know, try 2 first. Okay. On a repeater slot. That's all it is. They name it, it's just time slot 2. You might hear them call it repeater slot. Okay. So we're going to scroll on down, and here we are, just like the other thing that we had before. Now this is where, if you have a hotspot, you might have 2 of the same frequencies. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have 2, where you can have the receive and the transmit on the same frequency. But we're going to do a tower, like we said earlier on the sheet. We're going to come here and we're going to do a digital UHF repeater home hotspot. So we're going to do, actually I said I was going to name it this. Let's go ahead and name it WB5LIV, but see we have two different frequencies. So time slot or repeater slot 2, call code 1. So let's go back. This is a good thing because now I can show you how to change this name. Since it's hotspot, you can right click, go to rename, and we can put in the description WB5LIV. Okay, enter. Boom. See, it's instantly changed. All right, so now to the receive frequency, we want to put the receive in, which is going to be 447.6750. And this is what I wanted to show you with this. You remember how I said 5,000? Well, in the ham world, unlike GMRS, in GMRS it's always +5. In the ham world, sometimes they go minus and sometimes they go a plus. So it could be plus 5,000 or it could be a minus 5,000. But if we wanted to, we could just, since it's going negative, it's 442, we could put a negative here. My computer's freezing up. It's not used to all this heavy duty stuff. A minus, okay? But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to enter everything in together. Okay? So this is going to be 442.6750. Always try to get in the habit of putting 4 digits. You're always okay with that. Now we're going to come back to this. This isn't all you have to do for digital. This is a very, very long process, and understanding this, I'm going to take my time on this because you're going to come back. Putting stuff in the Motorola isn't the friendliest. It's actually harder than pretty much every radio that you can have. But we're going to go through here and fill out what we do know. Okay. So on power level, timeout timer, put it whatever you want it to be. We want to set this to always because we want to key it up and not get that burp all the time. It's going to give you an error and won't let you key up. It has its place, but for this example, I'm going to put it like that. So next you got to move to your tree of fun. On the side of this, you see that they have a group list and they have a contact name. Okay, on the transmit side, they have a contact name. On the receive side, they have a group list. Okay, so what we have to do is come over to the tree of fun and see if we can figure out. Okay, so we come here to under contacts, they got digital. Okay, and they're going to always have a default one in here. You can't delete this one until you create one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to put add a group call. Okay, this is how I do it. I like to know when I key up, sometimes I forget people's call signs. So what I do is I put in, so we're going to do Southeast Louisiana. Okay, and if you have space, you can put the, see, and I don't have enough space. They say I only have 18, so you have to abbreviate it. This is why I do it, because when I key up, sometimes I forget who I'm calling or what talk group I'm on, and it'll show it. So I'm going to abbreviate Southeast Louisiana. I'm going to put a dash. I like to know what channel I'm on. 31225. Okay. So right here under call ID, this has to be the 31225. See how that works out better when you do it this way? Okay. If you want to have a tone go off, a special tone, which I would not do this on a talk group, on the next part, I would possibly consider putting a receive tone on it. It would make a loud beep to let you know this person's talking. But when you're on a talk group and 50 people keying up, that's unrealistic. Okay, so now that's in here. But see how we got this call? Now we can delete. We can right click on this one and we can delete it. Now we have one in there, so it's allowed, okay? So next we need to do a receive group list. See how to have a receive group list? Under that's digital, okay? So you need to go and you need to have a list already, but right click, we're gonna go to receive call list and it's gonna pop this up, okay, like list 2. Let's make it list 1. So delete 1, you'll have list 1. All right, let's rename this list 1. This is where people get confused. If you take this extra step, you're not going to get confused. Go to rename, name that one just like something like that, like SELA. Okay, I don't know if it has enough to put 31225. Let's see. Oh, it took it. Okay, so there you go. So now we have Southeast Louisiana 3125. So you're asking, why do we need to have it here and here? Okay, we did the digital up here, and on a receive, we did it down here. Now here's where the fun starts. So we got to come back down here to our channel on the left, WB5LIV, right? We're going to click that. Okay, now on the receive group, guess what we're going to put here? 31225. And guess what we're going to do under the contact name? 31225. And there you go. You're now ready for a repeater. Now when you transmit on that channel, it will receive from here and it will receive on there. But there's one other step that you have to do with these Motorolas. I told you there's nothing fun and easy. So going back up to where we had digital, where we first did the first part, entered the first part of that. See right here. Let's find it. Oh, actually go to receive list. Okay. Come here to RX group list and you'll see SELA 31225. Right here, you have to click this over to here. This is something that a lot of people miss. So basically, when you're on this channel, it's kind of complicated, but basically make sure that you put your channel in here. So we're about to make another one. We're going to do a digital contact. All right. But right now you could write this to the radio. You'd be able to get onto this talk group. Okay. Let's do one more for disconnect because that's important. Everybody it should actually be #1 in your radio. So I'm going to go back to our zone, right click, add digital channel. I'm going to go to disconnect. Okay. I'll click into here. To disconnect, everything that you put in needs to be that original frequency that was in there. So we're going to go 447.6750. In other words, this has to be the same thing as your hotspot or the tower that you're trying to access. Motorola does not make this easy. I'm going to let you know. But look, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to demonstrate when I put the -5. Boom. It just did everything that we needed to. Right? And also, what did we forget? Feeder slot 2, call code 1. There you go. Okay. Set your timeout timer, whatever you want it to be. Set this to always. Okay. You have to get stuff in here. See this contact? It has nothing. See this group list? It has nothing. So we have to do the similar thing that we just did. So we're going to come up here to our digital area. We're going to right click, add a group call. Okay. I'm going to make this one DC-4000 because that's what disconnect is on Brandmeister. In case you didn't know, it's 4000. Type 4000 in for the caller ID. Okay. I'm going to come here to digital. Down here to digital, click the actual digital part, or come down here add, you want to add receive group list, come to the group list, right click, rename it, disconnect 4000. And while you're in here, you can also add that in there. Okay, disconnect. All right, now we clicked on our channel. We came back down to our disconnect channel. What do we got to do? We got to make sure we have disconnect here. And under contact name, we want to have disconnect 4000 over here on the right. There you go. Now you have two channels. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do a private call. So if, say, you wanted to call your buddy and you wanted to talk to him radio to radio, going through the tower or the hotspot, it'll come through like a phone call. Or if you wanted to text message them, you could do it. So that's what we're going to do now. I know this is kind of advanced and it's going long, but right now, if you just wanted to get on a repeater and talk digital, those two examples will help you do it. Okay, so we made up a person right here. I made this up, and this is his made up radio ID. Okay, remember, it's not your radio ID, it's the person you're trying to get in touch with. So we're going to go first, we got to make a channel. Like I said, Motorola is different than everything else. We got to right click. What are we going to add? A digital channel. Okay. So we're going to name this, let's name him Kevin. He seems like a Kevin. Karen and Kevin. Karens don't get on the radio too much. But anyway, so now we're going to go into the channel. I'm going to set our frequencies. Same thing. I'm doing this just to show you. If you have a hotspot, if you're on a digital repeater, it doesn't matter. You have to put these two frequencies in. Whether you do a private call or a group call, it has to be put in this way. That's just the way Motorola is. It's a lot hard. If you can program this radio, you can program any radio there is out there. 6350. We got the minus 5000. Boom. Popped it in there. Okay. So next we need to go up. Go to digital. We're going to right click, but this time we're going to do a private call. Okay. Now the little man's going to be here different. You notice that the digital is different. Group call has a group of people. Private call has one person. So we're going to call it, this is how I put it in. You don't have to do it like this, but this is what I do. It works for me. So we're going to put in Kevin. And we're going to put in, or you might actually want to put in his call sign depending on it. But like I said, you're constrained to a certain amount of characters. So you have to make a decision. Motorola does not make this easy. So we said that this is his made up call sign. 320 and 4 nines. Okay. Call ID. Guess where you got to put in there. And notice how this call receive tone is lit up. So when you're away from your radio and you're not tuned in to anything, when Kevin calls you, it's going to come through. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put his radio ID in here. Okay. Hope everybody's following. Now, because Motorola is not friendly, you have to come back down here to Kevin. Click on his under zone 1 in Kevin. We put his frequencies in. Guess what we got to put in here? You got it. Oh, you know what? We didn't make any. We didn't make a receiver transmit or receive list for him. So we have to come to digital under receive call list, add. And I do this on purpose because we learn together. In the real world, people make mistakes. Okay, so we're going to right click rename. We're going to name it Kevin. Okay, and then because it's a private call, it's not going to show up in here. That's one other thing. Well, let me see. Nope, it won't show up in there. So private calls don't show up in here. But we're going to click down here on zone 1 under Kevin. And we're going to do the same thing as we always did. Kevin on a receive, Kevin on a transmit. Give it a good eyeball, channel free, high, timeout timer. Go up here. Look, see, we missed this. Always go back and check your work. It is very easy to make a mistake doing this in Motorola. And if you get one thing wrong, you're going to continue to keep having to do this. So I'm going to put repeater slot 2. Like I said, if you have to guess repeater slot 2. Okay, and that will conclude our video. I hope it helped anybody else. It helped someone out. And if you have any questions, just drop it down in the comments and I'll get to it.